How's it going, Admiral Army? It's your boy Addy, and the story I have here today for you guys is nuts. It seems every single day that goes by, the state of New York is becoming more and more controlling. Just like the CCP, they have enacted so many different laws and regulations that are entirely unconstitutional, and that hunger for power continues to grow. There is no satiable way for these people's thirst for power to be quenched. Andrew Cuomo continues to reach beyond his grasp as governor to try and silence anyone else who has an opposing opinion, and to silence all the naysayers and conspiracy theories who think that his, as I said, unconstitutional lockdowns have any sort of meaningful impact. Now, typically I have some sort of joke, maybe a joke at Mitch McConnell, maybe a joke at Nancy Pelosi, who knows. But today I wanted to get just straight into this because, like I said, it's nuts. I could not believe this when I first read it. And so I really do think that this is something very important for you guys to share. If you think so too, consider doing so. Share it with some friends because this information needs to get out, and YouTube will not give me the benefit of the doubt. Their algorithm's pretty much designed to send me to the back end. No one's finding it, so that'd mean a lot to me. Consider subscribing, smashing the like button, and let's get straight into this with a docket straight from it's an act to amend the public health law in the state of New York. And the different regulations that they have in this are insane. You remember how in the CCP or in China, in Wuhan, they had people welding doors shut of those found to have coronavirus? Well, this is something sort of similar in that sort of retrospect where the governor, Andrew Cuomo, he has the jurisdiction to do with your life as he pleases. He decides if you are worthy to be allowed out into the open, more so than he's already doing with his lockdowns. Check this out. So this is Section 1 of this newly created act. Removal and detention of cases, contacts, and carriers who are or may be a danger to public health, other orders. 1. The provisions of this section shall be utilized in the event that the governor declares a state of health emergency due to an epidemic of any communicable disease. That is essentially stating that he has the ability, Governor Cuomo has the ability for the removal and detention of anyone that he sees fit to be a public health danger. He gets to decide who is the danger here, who is the danger to public health, and he can detain and or remove you. I'm not sure what the whole removal aspect is of that, but that is nuts. Anyone who can tell me with any shred of dignity that that is not something that the Communist Party of China would do is a straight up liar. That is specifically what they do. We all remember the story of the journalist who magically went missing after he brought the COVID story to light. He told people before it was announced, hey, this COVID thing, it's coming out, it's an outbreak, we really need to get this under control. Missing, never to be seen again. You know who gets that sort of authority here? Governor Cuomo. He could decide, hey, this person, this journalist, he's sick with COVID. We need to do something about him. Let's detain him. Where should we put him? Who knows? We won't tell the media. We won't tell anyone where he's at because that's disclosed information. We can't do that. That is nuts. I could not believe when I saw this. I had to make sure that I was actually on a government website. This is straight from the legislature of the New York Senate. Straight down from the top. This is something they're attempting to impose in New York. That's how bad things are getting in the United States. If there is one thing that I think people should see to realize exactly how bad things are getting, this is it. This shows you the type of power people like Governor Newsom want. People like Andrew Cuomo want to have over your lives, where they can decide what you get to do. Let's quickly read the second section here, the second article. It says, upon determining by clear and convincing evidence that the health of others is or may be endangered by a case, contact, or carrier, or suspected case, contact, or carrier of a contagious disease that, in the opinion of the governor, after consultation with the commissioner, may pose an imminent and significant threat to the public health, resulting in severe morbidity or high mortality. Sorry, I don't know why I'm messing those words up. The governor or his or her delegee, including but not limited to the commissioner or the heads of local health departments, may order the removal and or detention of such a person or of a group of such persons by issuing a single order, identifying such persons either by name or by reasonably specific description of the individuals or group being detained. The wording of that is all over the place. Do you realize how many maybes, maybe this, maybe that? This person may have come in contact with someone back when, so let's just lock them up. Let's make sure that they're detained so this outbreak can't continue. How many maybes is needed in that? You would assume that in order for something so insane, this tyrannical oversight of your life, you would assume the person, the governor, would need to have specific evidence. He'd have to have an exact, and I don't even think this should be enacted, but if something like this were in place, he should be exact on who is the one that isn't needing to be removed or detained. But instead, it's just a maybe here, a maybe there. You know, maybe someone over there might have the COVID, so let's lock them up. That makes no sense. There is no constitutional right for someone to impose something like this. This type of article right here, or this type of act, is exactly what the constitutional is there to protect from. To prevent a tyrannical overlord from telling you how to live your life, from locking you up and welding your door shut to make sure that you don't possibly impose a risk on others' lives. People live their lives every day in America, calculating the risks. You get in the car and you drive every day and you know that there are idiots out there on the roads. There's plenty of them. You can find an endless amount of idiots on the road, but you still get in the car and drive because it's a calculated risk. The American way to decide your own fate, to determine whether something is worth you doing. Not for Governor Cuomo, the person literally responsible for sending sick patients into nursing homes, killing them off. I can't think of a single way in good conscience you could decide that of all the places to send sick patients with COVID, a nursing home is the one that you come up with. I mean, a daycare would probably be equivalent to that. You think that, oh, these sick people, what should we do with them? Yes, the daycare down the street, let's send them there. That is the equivalent of sending them to a nursing home. And yet he wants to have the jurisdiction to tell you how to live your life. He wants to have the jurisdiction to remove or detain you based on what little evidence there could possibly be that you've come into contact even with someone with COVID. I would love to hear just one shred of reasonable doubt, one shred that could disprove this and state a way that this would be positive, something that could come, a benefit that could come from this. But there is not a single one. There is no way anyone could tell me in good conscience that this is something that America should take part in. Not a single person could do that. I guarantee it. And I guarantee most people don't even see this article. That's why I said it's so important to share, because people need to know about this. This is what people are trying to pass. This is what those governors you look up to and think, wow, Governor Cuomo, he must be so smart to be in that position of power. He is the most disgusting person you could imagine. Governor Newsom, disgusting, despicable people that you shouldn't even pay the time of day to. There's not a single reason for them to be in power. They just want to take over your lives and control them while they sit at the top of the food chain and rake in the benefits as you suffer down at the bottom. Another good example of that would quite possibly be this. After barring New Yorkers from celebrating in Times Square, de Blasio celebrates New Year's by dancing in Times Square. Yes, as I'm sure many of you are aware, Times Square was entirely shut down to the public. It was too big of a health crisis for us to risk this year. Unless you're de Blasio and his wife, in which case, have a good time dancing in the entirely empty vicinity of Times Square. It's all to yourself, you can do whatever you want out there. It's kind of like being in an empty movie theater if you've ever been in one. You have the freedom. You're like, wow, no one else is here. None of these idiot, degenerate ingrates are here. I can do whatever I want. You're running back and forth through all the rows. That's kind of what it is here, where he can do whatever he wants. It's his town, So let's just have him and his wife out there dancing. And he even posted this himself to his Twitter account. Can you think that's how disenfranchised these people are from reality? They think in this time of need, where evidently everyone else needs to be locked down. You can't go anywhere. You can't do anything. Your business, throw it in the trash. Forget about it. You don't need that business. We'll give you $600 in 9 months and you can survive off of that. These people are so disenfranchised that they actually think posting something like that will give people hope. That is not the hope people want. That's you and your wife having a fantastic, great time watching the ball drop, I'm sure, front row tickets, as everyone else is at home wondering whether they will have a future or not. That's insane. I have no other words to describe exactly how despicable these people are. They are the culmination of the CCP. This is what America will become if we are no longer allowed to bring these things out to light, if we no longer share this information and tell people about what is actually going on. I mean, I guarantee he's getting paid just for even having these huge barefoot wine bottles right behind him. I bet he got a fat check just from that, right? It's all a publicity stunt. These people just want to be the higher up overlords. They're the Xi Jinpings of America. They get their own state to run. They're running things around there, and then they'll detain you, and then they'll do whatever it takes to make sure that you can't speak up about the different ways that they have spit directly in your face and laughed as they've done so. You guys know, I posted a video about this. You know how Wuhan celebrated New Year's? Like this. They had New Year's. They went out in the streets, the place the coronavirus pandemic started. They were out in the streets celebrating. And of course, CNN declares that it's because they handled this with an iron fist, you know. They welded people's doors shut, something we should admire, right? That is the dumbest thing. That is not a non-argument. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. If you're a true American and you think that that's the proper way to handle a virus, then you need to leave. You should go to China. If they'll even let you in, you know they don't let other people into their borders because they don't want other people coming into their country. It is so difficult to even live there because they just want to control their own citizens like a bunch of sheep. A little fun fact here for you as well. Let's count how many people don't have a mask on here, even though, according to CNN, there was heavy police presence and strict crowd control. Some security personnel were seen telling several of the few people without masks that they must put one on if they wish to stay. Is that true, CNN? Where's the police personnel here? I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people right there, just in that little picture here. I'm not sure how many people would fit in that vicinity. Maybe you can tell me that. Oh wait, I didn't even count this guy. 6, right in the front row. But yet it's because of their strict honor and courage and the ability to weld people's doors shut that they were able to have their New Year's as planned. The CCP is laughing in America's face right now. Xi Jinping is kicking back every night, laughing, probably having a nice old glass of wine, doing his thing, as people like Andrew Cuomo do his bidding for him. They are not our friends. They are the enemy. The CCP is the enemy. They want control of the entire world. And you know who's standing in the way of that? America, the one free and great country that there is. The top one in the world. And who knows how long that'll last with people like Andrew Cuomo in charge, Governor Newsom, Gretchen Whitmer. People like that will have it spiraling downwards faster than you can even imagine. And that's why stuff like this needs to be put out there. Because you know CNN won't say anything about it. They'll tell you exactly why the CCP is doing a great job with how they're handling COVID. Meanwhile, saying Andrew Cuomo handled COVID just as well. He did great sending sick people into nursing homes. That's exactly how we should have handled it. So tired of these vile beings, these people who shouldn't even be stepped on. These people don't deserve a place in society. They should be ousted to no longer be seen ever again. They don't even deserve having people look at them. They don't deserve the presence of other people with actual dignity and honor. They are disgusting. And I'm going to have to end it on that one. I hope you guys shared this at least, because it, like I said many times, this is important. This is what we're fighting right now. Trump wins or loses. If Trump loses, I guess, the likelihood of this going down, the likelihood of America further degenerating into the CCP increases entirely. It goes up straight up. But hopefully, maybe we can have some way to counteract that. But the only way I can see is to spread information like this so that people actually know what they're talking about and know the battle that they're fighting. We're not fighting each other. That's what the CCP wants. They want us to fight each other. We are fighting them, not each other. But that'll be it for this one. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.